You wake up slowly, the soft morning light just beginning to filter through the curtains. The house is quiet except for the faint hum of the world outside. You shuffle toward the bathroom mirror and catch your reflection, a face you know well, but somehow it seems a little more tired than it used to be, maybe a little more worn. You study the eyes, the set of your jaw, the line of your neck. There's something missing, not just the energy you had a decade ago, but something more subtle, something deeper. It's not just about feeling sluggish or the usual aches and pains. It's about that quiet part of you, the part of your manhood that once felt alive and ready when the day began, that now seems to have retreated into shadow. This is a moment most men know, but rarely speak about. It's a quiet struggle that happens behind closed doors, whispered about in the silence of early mornings or long evenings spent wondering why the spark isn't quite there anymore. Maybe you've felt it too, the fading vitality, the slower pulse, the way intimacy now feels more like a memory than a present reality. You've likely been told to accept it as part of getting older, that these changes are inevitable, natural, maybe even something to be endured quietly. But what if I told you that this slow fading, this retreat of energy and life, isn't as inevitable as it seems? What if there was a simple way to start waking that part of you up again? A way that takes only 3 minutes each morning, but can, over time, gently bring your manhood back to life. I'm Dr. Camila, and over the years I've worked with hundreds of men just like you, men who have quietly given up hope, men who are skeptical of quick fixes and tired of overhyped promises. But what I've learned through experience and evidence is that reclaiming your vitality doesn't come from gimmicks or pills. It comes from understanding your body, treating it with care, and making small but meaningful changes. Changes that honor where you are now and the man you still want to be. Let me tell you about Frank. Frank is 61 years old, a retired electrician who spent most of his life working hard with his hands and heart. For years, he noticed the slow erosion of his energy, the tiredness that settled into his bones, the lack of morning vigor that used to come so naturally. Intimacy with his wife became a source of anxiety instead of joy, and the once effortless connection felt strained by fatigue and self-doubt. Frank didn't want to rely on medications or quick fixes. He felt embarrassed to talk about it, convinced that this was just his new reality. But one day, after years of resignation, he decided to try something simple, a 3-minute ritual each morning that required nothing more than his time and attention. At first, Frank was skeptical. He thought, how much difference can a few minutes make? But within 2 weeks, he began to notice subtle shifts, a little more energy, a bit more confidence in how he carried himself, and a glimmer of the man he remembered in those quiet morning moments. By 4 weeks, those small changes had grown into a real, tangible sense of vitality. Frank's story isn't a miracle. It's a testament to the power of small, consistent actions that reconnect you with your body and your life. To understand why this matters, it helps to know what's really happening inside your body as you age. For many men, the challenges around energy, intimacy, and circulation start with changes in the vascular system, the network of blood vessels that carry life-giving blood throughout your body. Erections, for example, depend less on hormones alone and much more on the ability of your blood vessels to dilate, expand, and fill with blood. The delicate inner lining of these vessels, called the endothelium, plays a crucial role. It produces nitric oxide, a molecule that signals the vessels to relax and open up, allowing blood to flow freely. But as time passes, and with factors like stress, poor sleep, inactivity, or even diet, these blood vessels can become less elastic and more prone to stiffness, much like garden hoses left out in the sun that dry up and crack. When this happens, blood flow slows, and the vital exchange of nutrients and oxygen to tissues becomes compromised. It's no wonder that energy feels depleted and the body's responsiveness fades. But here's the hopeful truth. These changes are not permanent. The body is remarkably resilient, especially when given the right signals and support. That's where the morning ritual comes in. It's designed to gently prime your vascular system, awaken your nervous system, and kickstart the circulation that supports everything from your energy levels to your intimate health. Imagine it like waking a sleeping engine, not with a sudden roar, but with a patient turn of the key, letting everything warm up and come back to life naturally. The ritual itself is simple yet powerful. It begins with breath work, a minute of slow, deep nasal breathing that floods your body with oxygen and calms your mind. Breathing like this signals your nervous system that it's time to wake up and pay attention. Next, you activate your pelvic muscles and core through gentle movement, something as simple as seated leg raises or marching in place, engaging those muscles that often weaken with age but are vital for circulation and function. Finally, you stimulate overall blood flow with light arm circles, gentle squats, or even a brisk massage of your hands and feet. Each movement is a tender invitation to your body to stir, to stretch, and to remember its capacity for vitality. There's a metaphor I like to use here. Think of your circulatory system as an old water well. For years, it's been unused, and the water inside has become still. But with patient effort, you start to pump again. At first, the flow sputters and sputters, but with persistence, it grows steady and strong. That's what this ritual does. It invites life back into the channels where it's been slowing, rekindling the flow that supports your manhood, your energy, your whole sense of being. Why morning? Because the timing matters. After a night's rest, your circulation is naturally slower, your body has been still, your blood pooling in places, your vessels at their most sluggish. This is the moment when many men experience the starkest difference between who they want to be and how they feel. The morning is also when testosterone levels naturally peak, and when your body is primed to respond to gentle stimulation. Engaging in this ritual at this time is like turning the ignition key in your body's engine, warming it up gently and preparing it for the day ahead. I want to be clear, this isn't about pushing yourself too hard or trying to reclaim youth by force. It's about honoring your body's rhythms and giving it exactly what it needs to start healing and awakening again. Gentle movement, focused breathing, and mindful intention are far more effective than any flashy solution or quick fix. As you listen to this, you might be feeling a mix of hope and skepticism. That's normal. You've probably been disappointed before by grand promises that didn't deliver. But this is different. It's rooted in science and experience, and it respects the quiet, steady work of your body's natural processes. What's more, this ritual offers more than just physical benefit. It's a chance to reclaim something deeply personal. You see, manhood isn't just about strength or endurance. It's about presence, connection, and confidence. When you start to feel more alive in your body again, everything changes. You speak differently. You carry yourself differently. You show up for your partner and for yourself with renewed dignity. Frank, the man I mentioned earlier, didn't get six-pack abs or sprint marathons. What he did get was far more valuable, a sense of being himself again. He woke up with more energy, with desire, and with a quiet purpose that had been missing. His story is not unique. It's the story of many men who refuse to let the slow fading of vitality define their later years. So I invite you to try this for yourself, not for a lifetime, but for just 1 week. Commit 3 minutes each morning to this simple practice. No equipment, no pills, just your breath, your body, and a little time. Watch carefully, with kindness, as your body begins to respond. Notice the subtle shifts, the way your energy wakes a bit earlier, the way your confidence gently returns, the way your manhood starts to come back to life. There's no rush here, no pressure. This is a process of rediscovery, and like all journeys worth taking, it starts with a single step, quiet, steady, and hopeful. In the next part of this video, I'll share with you more about how to make this ritual part of your daily life, why certain movements matter most, and how to nurture your body's natural rhythms for lasting change. For now, just hold on to the thought that tomorrow morning, when you look in the mirror, there could be something different, a flicker of life and strength that you hadn't felt in years, something waiting quietly, patiently for you to wake it up. As the days pass, you may begin to notice the way your body responds, not in dramatic leaps, but in gentle ripples. That subtle shift in how your legs feel beneath you as you move, the quiet return of warmth to your hands and feet, the lightness that creeps into your chest as you breathe a little deeper. These are the small signs of a system waking up, of a body remembering its own resilience. It's easy to overlook these moments when you're used to thinking of vitality as something that either flashes brightly or disappears entirely. But life, like health, is often found in the quiet persistence of small changes accumulating over time. What makes this morning ritual so meaningful is how it honors the natural rhythm of your body and mind. It is not about forcing transformation overnight, but about creating space each day for your body to heal and adapt. Think of it as tuning an old piano. Each morning you tighten the strings just a little, gradually bringing harmony back into the music of your life. This ritual nurtures the very foundation of your manhood, which is rooted not only in physical capacity, but in the deep connection between your body, your emotions, and your sense of self. It's important to remember that the changes you seek, renewed energy, improved circulation, and a return of sexual vitality, are not isolated phenomena. They are interconnected facets of your overall health. Improving blood flow benefits your heart, your brain, your mood, and yes, your intimate function. When your circulation improves, your entire system works better. You'll find yourself more alert, more engaged, and more ready to embrace the day. The breath and movement you practice each morning stimulate the production of nitric oxide, which not only relaxes your blood vessels, but also improves oxygen delivery to tissues throughout your body. This chemical messenger is vital for erections, but also plays a role in cognitive function and muscle health. Morning is the perfect time to engage this process because it coincides with your body's natural hormonal cycles. Testosterone, often called the male hormone, peaks in the early hours after you wake. While it's not the sole factor in sexual health, it supports libido, mood, and energy. By gently stimulating your circulation and nervous system at this time, you enhance the environment in which testosterone can work effectively. This rhythm-based approach respects your body's innate timing and increases the likelihood of lasting benefits. Yet, even with this understanding, I know that talking about these intimate topics can stir complex emotions. There is often a deep undercurrent of shame, frustration, or even grief associated with changes in sexual health and vitality. It's not just about the physical loss, it's about the way these changes ripple through your identity and relationships. You may fear that you're no longer the man you once were, that you've lost something irretrievably. But here's what I want you to hold on to. Your body has not given up on you, neither have I. When men begin to practice this ritual, they often discover something unexpected: reconnection. Reconnection to their own bodies, to their partners, and to a sense of dignity that isn't dependent on performance or external validation. This is about reclaiming the quiet confidence that comes from feeling alive and present. Frank, the man I mentioned earlier, told me once that this ritual gave him back a part of himself he thought was gone forever. The part that felt comfortable in his own skin and open to intimacy without fear or hesitation. That transformation didn't come from pills or quick fixes. It came from patience, from trust, and from a commitment to his own well-being. So, as you contemplate beginning your own journey with this morning practice, know that it's okay to start small. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. 3 minutes each day, done with intention and kindness, can be the seed from which greater vitality grows. And if you find that some mornings are harder than others, or that progress feels slow, that's natural. Change is rarely linear. What matters is showing up for yourself day after day with compassion and persistence. The ritual also invites you to shift your mindset about aging and manhood. Society often tells men that losing strength, desire, or vitality is inevitable, and that the best they can do is accept decline quietly. But your experience doesn't have to be that narrative. Aging is a journey, yes, but it can also be a season of rediscovery, a chance to engage with yourself more deeply, to listen more closely to your body's signals, and to respond with care and respect. This practice encourages you to see your body not as a failing machine, but as a living, breathing system capable of renewal. As your mornings begin to include this simple flow of breath and movement, you might notice other positive shifts spilling over into your day. The mental clarity that comes from improved oxygenation, the mood boost from gentle activity, the strengthened sense of control when you commit to a daily habit. These are not side effects. They are part of the whole. Taking care of your vascular health in this way supports every aspect of your life, helping you show up more fully, not just in your body, but in your relationships and your sense of purpose. And so, I invite you to picture your morning mirror once more. Tomorrow, as you look at that familiar face, I want you to see beyond the surface. See the man who is choosing to take this small step toward reclaiming his vitality. See the courage it takes to try something new, to challenge old beliefs about what aging must look like. See the quiet determination to nurture your body and spirit with kindness. That reflection, I promise you, is not the man resigned to decline, but the man awakening to possibility. If you feel ready to begin, remember this is a journey you don't have to take alone. Share what you learn with a trusted friend, a partner, or even here with me. Sometimes the first step is simply acknowledging the desire for change and giving yourself permission to try. Your body is listening, your mind is ready, and your manhood, your very sense of self, is waiting quietly for you to wake it up. I'm Dr. Camila, and it's been an honor to guide you through this beginning. If this message has resonated with you, I encourage you to take that first morning breath, those first gentle movements, and keep coming back to them. Over time, you will find a rhythm that suits you, a flow that brings strength, confidence, and presence back into your life. Your best years are not behind you. They are still unfolding, full of potential and quiet power. Thank you for trusting me to share this with you today. If you know another man who might need this message but won't ask for it, please share this video with him. Sometimes the most profound gifts are the ones we give quietly, in the hope that someone else will find their way back to vitality, just as you are beginning to do. Remember, it all starts with 3 minutes. 3 minutes to breathe, to move, and to remind your body and your spirit that life and manhood are not lost, only waiting patiently for you to come home.